Let me say good morning once again to our listeners and viewers. Welcome to the Mid-Morning Buzz here on Classic Radio GBN TV. Those of you who are listening and viewing via our social media platform, let me say good morning to you also. Let me say good morning to my guests. Let's say good morning to Jovana. Her name is Jovana Hoschtilek. I got her name right for first time in my life. Jovana, good morning. How are you? How are you this morning? I think I'm going to work on a first name basis. Make it easier.
Yeah.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing quite well.
All right. So, Jovana, you are, of course, you do public relations for a particular entity, which you're going to share that information with me shortly. But our focus conversation this morning is going to be on water conservation. And you are certainly going to share a lot of information in terms of why the importance of it and so forth. And the reason why you are here this morning to share information, especially with our listeners and viewers on this particular issue. Water conservation. Talk to me first and foremost about the entity that you are part of.
So, I'm currently the public relations officer for a film that is in progress about water conservation and sustainability, as you said, and we're working with Yellow Mountain Spaces Grenada, as well as in collaboration with GIZ, and it's all being filmed by Grenada Film Company. Yeah. So that's what's being done. I don't know how much I can really share about what's happening in the film, but it's a way of bringing the experiences of Grenadians and merging it with social media in a relatable way for Grenadians to understand.
All right. Water conservation, the importance of it from your point of view.
Water is at the heart of everything that has to do with our livelihoods in Grenada, from our survival to our health to our economy. Because of climate change, I'm a climate and youth activist that's spoken in a couple of international countries. Water is important, and because of climate change, we've seen a lot more dry spells. We've seen a decrease in rainfall. If I can just put a statistic in here that can really make people understand, between the last 60 to 20 years we've had 10% decrease in rainfall, and within the last 20 years we've had another 10% decrease. And we take water for granted more often than not. We leave things on while we are engaging in other activities like taking a shower. How often do we...
I'm guilty of that.
How often do we just leave the shower on, whether we're outside, we're texting on our phone, or we're in the shower and we're soaping up, washing our hair, and the water's just running and running and running.
You're brushing your teeth. The
exactly.
You're doing the dishes, and even though you're in the rinsing process, the water is running, you know.
Yeah, and water's a part of our everyday lives, and we need to learn how to conserve and protect it.
Now, if I may ask you the question, all that you said, the conservation, we know all that is important. You know, educating people about the conservation of water, that's where the should I say, the concern comes in. You know, educating people towards it. And it's, for some, it may be a challenge for you, your institution or your establishment, what they want to do with it. What are some of the challenges that you have seen or looked at, especially when it comes to educating people when it comes to conservation of water?
One of the main challenges is, as a people, this doesn't just mean Grenada, it just means as humans, we're a little stubborn to change. We're so used to doing things a particular way that the thought of doing it any different makes us a little uncomfortable at times. And it's all about how we teach our younger generations. How do we engage youth like myself or youth younger than myself into learning good water usage practices? And that's one of the hardest things to kind of teach, especially when in Grenada we're busy people. We're trying to multitask and do multiple things. That's one of the things that we're good at. We can do multiple things at once. So whether it's we're cooking and washing the dishes at the same time or watching TV at the same time, all these different things, it's how we waste a lot of water. And we need to teach our kids, our younger generations, to learn to love, respect, and protect our water sources.
Now, if we go back, if I could take back though, it has to start from the beginning. Water from its natural habitat. I think that's where you have to start with it. How we treat it from there before it gets to the houses and everything like that. Now, how could you teach individuals or talk to individuals about the sustainability of it? Because you know, as I say, as you mentioned, you know, with how the state of the world today, you know, climate change and everything is decreasing. The temperature is more, so we know things are decreasing in the manner in which. How does it start from there in terms of, you know, getting folks to understand, hey, if you don't start taking care of it from the waterfall or wherever catchment area it is that it comes from, you understand?
Yeah.
There's going to be a time it wouldn't get to your home anymore.
Yeah, to preserve the beauty of our island.
Yes.
It's a lot easier said than realistically done. But especially with this film, what we need to do is we need to make education and awareness on these topics more relatable. Yeah. The younger generations, they're going to be our next leaders, our next politicians, our next doctors and lawyers. And when you educate them on something and inspire them with the beauty of our country in its rawest form, then they're going to be the ones to want to protect it when they're older and when they have the power to protect it. So it's by exposing them to what is good about our paradise, because we still live in paradise. So many countries are suffering. I'm trying to remember the statistic now, but according to last year with the World Health Organization, Grenada is one of only 7 countries left with a good quality of air. We take for granted how good we have it here on our island, whether it be from our air to our trees to our water. We need to learn to protect it all, and it takes teaching us young.
I agree. Now, talk to me about the Flim. I mean, you may not be able to diverse, as you mentioned, you know, a lot of pertaining to it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the reason that it has. You spoke about, you know, the sustainability of water and everything is in between. The process of doing this Flim. I know educating people is a critical part of it. Educating individuals on how to sustain water and so forth. Talk to me in relation to that.
It's about hearing the truth. With this film, we are meeting people where they actually are in society. We're going to communities to hear their stories, to see their perspectives, see how they use their water, see the challenges that they have with water. Our film is with young people, like primary school age, and we don't give them a script. Our protagonist, Lala, she's from Grenville, and we go there to film her in her natural habitat. We don't give them a script. We want to hear what they honestly have to say about their situation, because there's nothing better than the cold, hard truth to wake people up. Yeah. So that's how we're trying to get it in such a way that people can really internalize and reflect on what they're doing in their day-to-day. All
right. How far gone are you into the film?
We've done quite a bit of the filming so far. We're pretty there towards the end of filming. We still have a lot of editing and poster making and all that kind of stuff, but we're hoping that we'll be able to release it a little later into the year, but we're pretty good on filming right now.
What is that end result you're hoping to achieve from that in particular?
Well, in a short term, we're hoping for engagement, for shares, for people to start the conversation, to start realizing that there is actually a problem with the way that we conserve our water. But in the long term, what we want to see is proper engagement for youth to be able to take this environmental advocacy and continue to do it on their own, for communities to work together to find better ways of sustaining their water sources and preserving the beauty that they have in their homes, for there to be people to change their behavior, for policies to be impacted. And when this conversation is one that is constantly repeating and leaves a lasting effect, that's when we know that this film has been successful.
Right. So I'm assuming the next time you come around, you'll be telling me about the completion of the Flim. Maybe you will be exposing more information for me in terms of how the entire process went through.
Certainly.
You're feeding me a little bit this morning.
Certainly.
You're feeding me a little bit. So I was certainly happy to hear that, and I'm certainly waiting to see that final product when it to get released.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm really hoping that it really hits the youth, and not just the youth, but older generations, in a way that makes them feel like they can do something too. That it's not just this abstract thing where it's a fantasy that isn't really going to hit us, because it is. We saw the drought last year. We were 2 weeks away from having to get water from other countries just to sustain ourselves, and it's going to get worse unless we make action now. The youth are the next change makers. They are the power to save our tiny paradise. So, yeah.
All right. Jovana, I want to thank you a whole lot for popping in this morning and sharing the information, of course, and I wish all overall success of the project, and certainly hope that when that film comes out, folks will understand how important it is for, to conserve water and make sure that it's sustainable for the long term, especially for the future. You said we're in paradise, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's our tiny little paradise.
All right. I want to thank you a whole lot, and best wishes for the rest of the day.
Thank you, too.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of the Mid-Morning Buzz. I want to thank, of course, Jovana once again for popping in, and best wishes. That's what we take a wrap for today. All the best, folks. That's what we say goodbye.